Hunter is so cute, but he has always been a little spitfire. Starting back in second grade, we went to public school and we started noticing that he was having troubles in the classroom. He was severely ADHD, and on top of all that, he had massive anxiety. As the years progressed, we continued to see him struggle. He was getting in trouble. He was in that fight or flight mode. And so he fought everybody and everything at school. It got to the point where one day he ran out of the building at school and tried to go home. So he was eloping from the classroom. Basically, from a miracle of God, his sped teacher had randomly heard about the school called Vanguard. And so I picked up the phone, desperate for some help in figuring out how I could, keep him in the classroom, keep him being successful, because at this point he was transitioning to thinking he was a bad kid. And so I called Vanguard, and Becky picked up the phone, and I kind of gave her his spiel. And in education lingo, he had a BIP, which is a behavior plan, and no other private schools would talk to him. And every time I called, they'd be like, does he have a BIP? And I was like, yes, he does. And they were like, I don't think that's going to be the place for him. So when I talked to Becky, I told her everything, and she was like, I think you found your place. And so that's how we ended up at Vanguard. Prior to coming to Vanguard, Hunter really thought of himself as a bad kid. And so what we saw at when we were in public school is that he tended to hang out with, or associate with those kids that got in trouble. And so when we came to Vanguard, his entire being of who he was, like his demeanor and like his personality, all changed because he finally was not getting kicked out of the classroom. People were talking through some of the emotions that he was having. He wasn't getting punished for some of the behavior that he was exhibiting, because people at Vanguard understood, like, it comes from anxiety, it comes from ADHD. And so it was really just a whole shift in how he viewed himself. And then, you could see the light in his eyes come back, and that was just life-changing for us. It was a completely pivotal moment in not only his life, but in our life as a family. It's just finally getting people to understand that he's a great kid, that he is has a good heart, but he's just misunderstood. So that was just kind of life-changing for my son. And so I will forever be grateful to Vanguard. If I could tell any parent that's struggling with their child and just not knowing what to do or how to go or where to seek help, Vanguard is the place for you. The amount of love and support that we've had from the staff, from other parents here, I have learned so much about how to validate Hunter's feelings, how to handle some of his big emotions. And I would tell any parent that's looking for a place for their kid to belong that this is literally the perfect place for you. My life and our life as a family has been changed because of the things that Vanguard has done. I am forever grateful for Hunter's journey here at Vanguard.